Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into this album's 15-year anniversary, and it's from one of my favorite death metal bands ever. And it's hard to believe this album is now 15 years old, and it's a classic in my opinion. And as you can see below the title, today we're going to be looking into Annihilation of the Wicked by Nile, the band's fourth album released on May 23rd, 2005 through Relapse Records. Now, this, of course, follows up their previous album, In Their Dark Enshrined, which is a pretty good album. But with this album, this pretty much kicks like their previous three albums face. It's like, not to say that those three albums were bad or anything. Like, everything Nile has done does pretty good, except for one album which came out in 2012, which I'm not going to comment on. But anyway, this album, like I said, I feel like this is pretty much, in my opinion, their best work to date. Like production wise, just instrument wise, songwriting, like lyrically, vocally, everything. Like I feel like the band pretty much stepped it up tenfold here. The vocals are just really just insane. Like especially like Carl and Dallas, Liz's vocals sound really great and just gnarly, and just the guitar work in general is pretty sick. It has like some very fast like technical stuff, and it also has showcase a lot more of like a slower kind of like doomy style with it. Well, the bass playing is pretty audible. It definitely cuts well in the mix, and drumming wise, it's actually the first album to feature now their current drummer George Colias. This which in my opinion I feel like he's one of the best drummers in death metal, or if not in metal in general. Well, he's probably the best thing that's probably happened to Nile, and I'm really glad that they recruited him. So without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Excuse me. First starting it off is the intro called Dusk Falls Upon the Temple of the Serpent on the Mount of Sunrise. Yeah, and you can definitely tell Nile just loves to have long song titles. The song is pretty much a little instrumental. It's only about a little under a minute. It pretty much gives like a moment of like what you're gonna expect. It sort of like builds up and it gives you a moment of just like what's to come for this album, and then it leads into Cast Down the Heretic, which is a very strong song. It just boom hits you right in the face, doesn't bullshit around, and this is a very strong song. Like I said, it marks the first time you'll hear like I said, George Colias on the drumming, and it's hard to believe he's been with the band for now 15 years, which is crazy. But anyway, this track is just very fast, heavy, and just relentless. And it just, love the solos on here. It's just sick. And I love how near the end of the song, it pretty much has like a chanting of like Cast Down a Heretic, which just makes you want to must want you to go in the pit and fucking hit motherfuckers out, which is an amazing, great song. Then we go into Sacrifice unto Sebek, which starts off with just an insane, crushing intro, which leads into the moment of madness, and the song just doesn't let up, not at all. But then after a while, it just suddenly just disappears, and you realize that the song is pretty much a little under 3 minutes, which is just a very, very relenting song. But it pretty much ends before you even realize it. Anyway, moving on to user Matt Ray, or I can't even pronounce it, which is just a beast of a song. The intro is kind of very calm yet ominous, if you want to say that, but then it just stops for a second and you don't hear a thing, and then boom, all hell breaks loose in here. It just pretty much scares the shit out of you. And I feel like right here, Nile kind of like shows a little bit more of a doom-y kind of side to it, but then which you're kind of like starting to like get a feel of it, but then it just hits you with just a fury of just insanity. Anyway, moving on to The Burning Pits of Duat. I probably butchered that, which the guitar work is pretty great, and I love how it pretty much slows down a little bit and focuses, I believe, more on like sort of like the rhythmic side of the band versus like sort of like the technical kind of like shreddy style. And the end of the song is pretty much really just insane. Anyway, moving on to, hope I don't butcher this, Chapter of Obeisance before giving breath to the inert one in the presence of the crescent-shaped horns. Which I probably not going to say that ever again, but chapters of, I'll just call that for short. short chapter is pretty much got more of a like a darker tone than pretty much all the other songs on the album. And I really love the guitar on here. And around like a little over halfway through the song, it pretty much slows down to a riff right here, and the guitar actually sounds really great at this point, which is a great song. Anyway, moving on to Lashed to the Slave Stick, which the beginning of this song is just pretty insane, with just some really tremolo picked guitars, and the main riff is just insane, like sweeping. Like, I really love it. This pretty much shows like sort of like the technical style of Nile. And it's just really catchy, and the vocals are really great, especially in the chorus. And I love how this unexpectedly around a little over 2 minutes in, the song changes its tempo, and it's a change for the better, and then the tempo change is gone in like 30 seconds, and then the song sort of like slows down, which picks up sort of like the original kind of like style of it, and the drums are really great on here. Here, another great song. And then we go into Spawn of Humanity, which is a little instrumental. I call this kind of like a little interlude, sort of like a calm before the storm, which is just a very creepy song. When I first heard this, it pretty much gives me goosebumps. Has some really good French horn and just some really just weird shit going on. It's a pretty weird song, but I don't know. Then we go on to the title track, Annihilation of the Wicked, which is a great song with just some great guitars, great drums, and just great vocals all around. From like the fast like riff at the beginning to like the ending, sort of like chugging riffs. It's just an amazing song. Pretty much the best song on the entire album. And then the album closes with Von und Ausgeprägten Kulten. I think it's just German, and from what I heard, I translated it to English as of unspeakable cults, which just opens with just like a toll of a bell, kind of like when you hear the toll bell, you're either thinking reminds you of like from the Bell Souls by Metallica or Hell's Bells by AC/DC. But anyway, this song just leads into like just some sick riffs, and it's a very good song, and especially like the guitar solo in here. It's pretty much one of Nile's best songs, period. So overall, Annihilation of the Wicked by Nile is just a death metal classic. If you want to get into death metal, if you haven't heard this yet, you need to check this album out. If I were to give this album a score, I'm going to give this a solid 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of Annihilation of the Wicked by Nile, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.